All right, I'm an idiot, and I didn't hit start recording, so we're about 15 minutes in, and I haven't said anything. To just kind of give you an idea where we are here, I've been talking about Ruffles, how to construct the skirt here, because I'm looking at this and I'm going, that's going to be complicated. And I do have a piece of reference, but I always like to know why I do things, so of course I went to the actual construction reference on, like, how do you sew ruffles on clothing? And it's actually fairly simple. If you look at this bit right here, all you actually are doing, and I've talked about this a little bit over here, is you're taking a piece of thread and running it through one edge of the material, and you're pulling it tight. You're pulling it tight so the ends come in. And because you're pulling it tight, this end, because there's more material down here, in order for this to occupy the same space, all of that material has to bunch up. So that's kind of what you're looking at here. Is up here you have these little teeny wrinkles up at the top edge, and then you've got these much larger ones down here, because all of these just kind of fade into one another as you go farther down. So you just kind of have this, you have these ruffles that down at the bottom, they lead upward to the top edge, where you have little kind of triangular bits and pieces that are the shadow of that. And anyway, that's kind of where we are. And I was looking at a shading methodology here, where I was using a multiply layer on top of other layers. So, for example, I've got, let me clear some space here. I'm going to clear this flat layer, and what I'm going to do is, down here on layer 1, I'm going to say, okay, let's grab some color or other. Let's grab this a light green, and we'll say, here's a light green piece of clothing, and we're going to take that light green piece of clothing, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle it there. I'm going to copy it, then I come up here to layer 1, and I'm going to paste it, and it should paste into the exact same place. And then we have to merge it down. We'll merge it down. Now keep the mask. And that's going to give us a multiplied layer, because this is a multiply layer that is clipped to the layer underneath it. So what I can do at this point is I can take this, and using whatever brush I want, I've been using the opacity brush, but I can use the cell shade and whatnot if I want. Using the transparent brush, I can go over this and just kind of paint where I want the skirt to have light on it, and then where I want to have shadow is what the hell? Oh, it's because I'm not painting on the Let's back this up. I need to be working on the so I need to be working on the mask in transparent. And working in transparent on the mask, I can just kind of paint in where I want the light to be. I'm using a cell shading brush, which isn't the best thing to be using. We go to a soft shading brush, which should probably be a better approximate of what it is that I'm trying to do. Now I can start up here and just kind of go, yeah, there's light up here, and then there's light going farther down. But as you get closer to the bottom, it kind of shadows in. I'm not sure how I like this method. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I am sort of feeling like my style is leaning into more of a painting style than a drawing style. But I don't feel that this gives me really the kind of look that I'm going for. And I do need to work on need to work on line art. I need to work on edges. I'm not doing enough work with edges. I'm working with shapes. I'm trying to work more with forms, but the sort of thing that I'm working with, the sort of thing that I'm trying to get done here, is I'm trying to get these ruffles on the skirt, and they kind of make their way up. And the ruffles on the skirt would kind of be this sort of thing going on. And then there'd be the next layer of the skirt coming out from under it. And part of the issue is that we've got one leg up. And I'm back to my old crappy habit of, and the other leg is down. So she's got one leg up and one leg down, and the ruffles are going to be fairly complex on this, especially because up at the top of the skirt, we've got this kind of triple diaper fold thing going on. And she's also leaning over fairly extremely, so there's all of this bunching going on. And I'm kind of thinking my way through it and going, you know, how do I make that happen? Because she's leaning over right here, and if I put in a new layer, let's not clip that. So if I put in a new layer and I just go, okay, here's the edge of the skirt. If I go, here's the edge of the skirt right here, okay? Here's the edge of the skirt, and then here is the waistline, and she's leaning over fairly dramatically. So we're going to have a lot of creasing right in here. And here's this leg coming down here, and the skirt coming down along the edge of that. And here we're going to have a kind of ruffly area there. And her hand's on top of it, so it's going to be pressed down. So it's going to kind of emerge from that. And then here's the skirt coming down. And then down here we've got another big, long, ruffly bit. And again, the way that they do that is this piece right here is this bit where it connects to the rest of the skirt. That has like all of these little tiny shadows in there. And up here we've got this kind of drapey thing going on, which, because this leg is lifted up, because we kind of have this swooping shape and form to it, these are going to be pulled up fairly dramatically. And then we've got this sort of corset bustier thing going on, and we need to do some kind of sleeve, and the sleeve is probably going to have a ruffle on it. and then this this kind of half sleeve cuff thing that comes out of there. And that's a lot. That's a fair bit. So so I need to kind of look at how I'm doing this and how it's supposed to look and how it's all going to fit together. And as usual, I may have bitten off more than I can chew. This is a thing that I do fairly frequently. But the thing about these Ruffles is they're not terribly difficult. You just take the highest and lowest points, like if we really exaggerate it like this. If we do really deep ruffles, we just take the highest points and extend them upward toward the seam. And we take the lowest points and we extend them upward toward the seam. And that's really all there is to it. Like if I create a new layer for this, which obviously we don't want to clip. I'll put that down on the bottom. Okay, so if we do that sort of thing, like if I turn off that layer, if we just have this kind of very deep ruffle, it's just a matter of the highest points and the lowest points and which direction you're viewing from. And then there's just a matter of the shading, which, you want to shade in there. You want to shade up under here and up under here and down in here and all the places that the light can't reach. And it's a fairly simple process. It's the same thing with if you were to do like a pleated skirt, then you got the same kind of situation. You just have sharp angles instead of soft curves. And then inside of there, obviously you got light can't reach there, the light can't reach there, the light can't reach there, the light can't reach there. You got the places the light can get and the places the light can't get. So I'm kind of looking at all of this stuff and going, how exactly am I going to do this? And really, when you have these sort of diaper folds that are hanging to the side off like this, and then they're connected there in the middle, and then you have the one in the middle that's kind of, and all of those should really be going to the same place. And you get this kind of thing if you're looking at the skirt just kind of hanging. But then we've got the ruffle that comes down here at an angle, and we've got the ruffle that comes across here, which is fairly straight, and then we've got the ruffle down here at the bottom, and all of that fits together, and that's a lot of work. And then we've got her legs up, so the bottom of the skirt isn't straight across like this, it's lifted up, and the whole skirt is kind of up in this kind of configuration. And here's a ruffle, and here's a ruffle, and here's a ruffle, and that's a fair bit. And I'm just kind of drawing everything all over everything else at the moment. So That's a mess. You just turn off a bunch of this stuff, and let me throw all of that into a new layer folder. Not clip that layer folder. Okay, I did not do this properly. Create folder and insert layer. There we go. Initial, and we'll turn all of those back on. That's what we started with. Then we can fold that up and we can turn that off, and then we will create a brand new layer folder, unclip it, and we'll call this one black color. Okay, so when we think about how this is structured, we've got a leg up underneath, and then there's a knee, and then there's a calf up underneath, and this calf is way too long. And then we've got an ankle and a foot. And we want, okay, so this right here, this amount, as it comes across this, that's going to pull the skirt up a little bit. So if the normal skirt comes down to here, then the skirt here, because the knee is bent, that knee is going to hike the skirt up a little bit. So it's going to go from here up to here. And then we've got kind of, the skirt falls down like so. And then comes up to here. Here's some creasing. This is where we get the kind of drapery fold there. This is where we get the drapery fold here. Then we've got another attachment point there. And we'll have, this will exist, but we're not really going to see it because she's leaning over and her arm is across her knee here. So she's leaning forward. She's got her arm across her knee. We think in terms of where all of the anatomical bits are. And the neck is coming out here. So face is going to sit right here, but she's going to push it forward and it's going to drop down somewhat. We're not going to lose the neck entirely, but we are going to be missing most of it. So we've got the head kind of down and forward, and here's the arm there. And that arm goes back behind the back here. There's the elbow, and there's the rest of the arm. And here's the hand just holding a machete. And we want to bring that down a little bit more over here. So this is more hidden. We don't have this big blade sticking out. So we want our hand to be over here. We sort of arc that over, There's the hand, here's the blade, and that gives us something a little bit less obtrusive, and we can actually flare out the skirt a little bit there to more properly conceal it. If I go to the eraser brush, well, not really the eraser brush, but just the transparent color. And we can get that in there. And here we're going to have kind of a poofy sleeve, a ruffle at the end of the poofy sleeve, and then coming out of the sleeve, we want a kind of half sleeve sort of thing. So we've got bare arm here, and then clothing there, and then up here is a ruffle. And up here is a poofy sleeve, and then there's the rest of the blouse there. And this is Chio, so she's got her signature little miniature top hat with the drill hair coming out. And she's obviously got the drill hair coming out over here. So thinking purely about how the ruffles are going to work, they're gonna kind of swoop out here, but they're also going to be sort of stretched as they come down here. So that is going to give us a kind of shallow ruffle all the way down there, and then up here we'll have another ruffle that's coming out from under her hand, so it's kind of crunched. There's the same basic concept there. And then up here, coming out from under this, we're going to have a third ruffle. And when we, okay, no, we don't want that clipped. We kind of let's give this a sort of, here's that kind of pink ruffle, and here's that kind of pink ruffle, and here's that kind of pink ruffle. And I want to do these kind of a green. Let's have those in green. Put this layer underneath the flat color. And we'll have we will then do the skirt under that in a kind of dark raspberry. And we'll do the skirt down here at the bottom in the dark raspberry. And we'll do the skirt in the middle in a kind of a spring green to still contrast. And then up here we'll do the bustier. You know what? I think I want to do the bustier in a kind of in a much lighter color, like much more of a spring green, like that. We'll do that in more of a spring green. This bit is the dark raspberry again, and then we'll have the light raspberry for the top. Ooh, we'll do white ruffles here. There's our skin tone for her face. I'm just redoing the sketch at this point. Now, of course, her hat is that green color. Then we've got skin color here. We've got skin color here. Dark raspberry for the shoes. Dark raspberry for the shoes. And we'll do the dark green for the I want that there and that there. So this is kind of the pose that we're looking at. Again, I'm just kind of going over it and making sure that I have my ducks in a row for actually making this picture happen. Now, I'm fairly unconfident that I can do a good job on this. So the question is, what am I going to do a good job on this? And I think the proper way to do that is to section this off into bits. If I use, let's say, a nice bright blue here. Yes. If I were to go, okay, we're going to do her head as one bit, and we're going to do her arm as one bit, and then we're going to do her upper torso here as one bit, and then we're going to focus on doing the skirt and these legs as one consolidated bit. And if I just kind of move my way down, if I just go, if I get everything blocked in and located, and then I go and create the, I go and start working on the individual pieces. Is that the right direction to go? To what extent do I need this blocked in? Got a lot more thinking to do on this. And it's going to be very boring to watch. Plus, I'm really kind of distracted because I have a hot water heater to drain and a boiler valve to install and a bunch of crap to do after the stream. So I'm going to go ahead and call it on this stream right now. I mean, I screwed up everything and didn't hit record for 15 minutes. So do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And I mean, okay, bye.